Welcome back, everyone, to Trails in the Sky the Third. We've been working on some of the side questy doors, trying to get some of that stuff out of the way before we continue on with the main story. In this episode, we're going to go do this one, I think, which is Star Door 2. So I've done more than 100 battles now, so I should be able to enter this one. The last one we just did was the arena, so I'm really curious what this one's going to be if it's not an arena. Enclosed was a report on the damage dealt to the former Principality of Northumbria by the Salt Pale. Also contained within is research on the Pale itself, Holy City of Arteria, Congregation for the Sacraments. Okay. I hereby present this report to you, Your Holiness, ever at the side of the Goddess. This report contains classified information and may only be read by those with the clearance to do so. Certain sections of the utmost secrecy have also been blacked out. Progression of events after the Pale's appearance. An urgent report came in from Helios Cathedral in the then Principality, now Estate, of Northumbria in northern Zemeria. It stated that a giant white pillar so tall it appears to kiss the clouds has appeared on the outskirts of the city. Bishop Alexei, the one who sent the report, behaved as if extremely unsettled by what was happening. By urgent order of the committee, 2 Knights of the Gralsritter, the 8th Dominion, aka the Roaring Lion, and a squire, both of whom were working on another mission in a nearby nation, were dispatched to perform a formal investigation. They hurried to the scene via the 8th Merkaba unit. Please note that the Merkabas had only recently been put into use at this point. They arrived promptly, and at 6:22 a.m., this is what they saw. Encloses a photograph of the object now known as the Salt Pale. At this point, however, it was far larger than the term pale would suggest. It was more akin to a massive tower that soared hundreds of argand into the air. The 2 knights provided the following observation regarding the situation on their arrival. We were met with a mighty hailstorm blowing in our direction from Heliask, or so it appeared at first, till we eventually realized the storm contained not ice, but salt. The object's surface is completely covered with salt, making it impossible to tell what it may actually look like underneath. The surrounding air has become powdered salt, and it falls to the ground like snow falling on a tundra. The spread of that solidifying process was startlingly rapid, and the affected area spread in the blink of an eye. By the time the Gralsritter arrived, the entire landscape of the capital had turned to salt, and the lives of many who lived there, like the aforementioned Bishop Alexei, had already been lost. Yet the spread did not stop there. A day after the Salt Pale first appeared, a vast coniferous forest zone north of the capital crystallized and collapsed. Bridges also collapsed, rendering all of the main highways out of the city unusable. Please note that by this point, then-ruler Prince Balmond had already fled the country to a nearby nation. 2 days passed since the Pale's appearance. By this point, roughly half of the entire principality had become a sea of salt. Countless refugees had fled to the southern side of the country because the River Grieve stood between it and the affected area. Finally, 3 days after the Pale's appearance, the solidifying process stopped at dawn. As a result, the knights were able to advance on the capital of Haliask with the hope of investigating the salt pail. That afternoon they finally reached it, but what they found looked completely different from how the pail had been before when they first arrived in Northumbria. In the center of the salinified area, they found an object that was mere 2.5 argon height. Its surface was no longer blanketed in salt, rather it looked as if something had been carved out of it. It is now believed that the pail's mass decreased as the salinification process progressed. In its smaller state, the pail had lost its power to turn swaths of the country to salt, but its ability to salinify was still very much intact. Anything that touched it, even for a millisecond, was instantaneously turned into salt. It was of the utmost importance to handle it with care. In order to complete the mission without physical contact, the Grosritter required the use of the sacred tool, Leipnir, which was delivered to them from the high seat in Arteria. Since then, it has been kept closely sealed away deep within the high seat in Arteria. Still, while the recovery mission was ultimately deemed a success, the damage already caused was equally vast and significant. No damage to the surrounding nations was reported, but it resulted in the destruction of 3 of the 5 administrative districts of the principality, including its capital. Over a third of the total population, along with travelers from elsewhere, lost their lives. This is to say nothing of the emotional damage caused. Due to its sudden outbreak, the hearts of Northumbria's people were overwhelmed with fear and uncertainty. From a humanitarian and religious perspective, a swift response from the Septian Church was all but necessary. The decision was made to dispatch personnel to the region right away, and upon arrival, they set about rebuilding the damaged churches and healing both the physical and mental wounds of the people. Those who were left orphaned in the crisis were taken into gospel facilities, where they would be cared for until adulthood. The northern region of the country, which had been turned entirely to salt, was placed under the church's control. It has been a restricted area ever since. After some time, the country's former leader, Prince Belmont, attempted to rebuild the government, but given that he had fled the country during its hour of need, caring only for himself and not his people, all authority he once had was gone. The following year, the country's people led an armed uprising, and the Principality of Northumbria was no more. Eventually, elections were held, and the country became a democracy, thus bringing about the birth of the autonomous state we know of now. This was also when the former principality's armed forces reformed as vigilante corps. Given the extreme poverty of the state, however, the majority of said corps considered gathering foreign currency to be of the utmost importance. This was how the large-scale Jaeger Corps known as the Northern Jaegers was first established. Okay. As far as the rest of Cimmeria is concerned, this is where the tale of the Salt Pail ends. But a number of very important questions still remain unanswered. Perhaps the most obvious of these is where it came from. Despite the considerable size of the object and that it appeared on the outskirts of a populated city, no information is available regarding the moment it first appeared. The most popular theory is that its appearance was due to something akin to spatial translocation, but no hard evidence exists to support this, or any other theory. Of more importance, however, is its positioning in the teachings of the Septian Church. The pail is clearly different in nature to artifacts, and appears to be a more fundamental manifestation of the goddess's powers of creation. With the limits of our knowledge at present, this is as far as we can get to the truth. There are some who have proposed it may be one of the Septarians, but no evidence has been found in legend or scripture to support this belief. Nevertheless, these questions and many others need answering, and the Congregation for the Sacraments continues to study the salt pail to this day. The most accepted proposal comes from those who believe the pail should be seen as nothing more than a gift from Adios, and they continue to consider various means for her church to make good use of it. The most realistic of these plans is using it in the manufacture of a sacred tool used for execution. Parts of the pail are cut away using a high-pressure water, and then surrounded with a cylinder made from salt crystal, allowing them to be fired directly into the target without requiring the user to make direct contact. Should the bolt make successful contact with a human target, their whole body would turn to salt, killing them in mere seconds. There are no known means for reversing or stopping the process. This approach does not come without flaws. It seems unwise to be careless with an object we still do not understand the true nature of, for one thing. There are also humanitarian concerns with executing someone in this manner. Still, it does bear mentioning that should there ever be a case where a target needs to be eliminated without fail, this would be the most surefire way to carry it out. It should go without saying that research on it is intended to continue into the future. So that would be the weapon he used to kill Weissman. Appendix regarding the aforementioned sacred tool. Trial use begins of the sacred tool. Top secret work only. Permission granted to use in the execution of blah blah. Fired from bowgun. Results were extremely favorable. No damage was caused to the surrounding area. The target was also successfully erased. The target, Weissman, was orphaned by the salt pail when it first appeared. A brief history of blank is as follows. Joins the Septian Church, joins the Congregation for the Sacraments as an official, promoted to bishop, declared a heretic and excommunicated from the church. Huh. Huh. Okay. I'm just processing all of that. So yeah, that was the weapon used to kill Weissman. And it gives you a lot more about his past, too. We're going to continue the main story now, if you hadn't figured that out yet. I don't want to do any more doors at the moment, and I can't get to some of them yet, so... And here's the entrance to the next plane. I doubt the pattern will change up now, so yeah. We won't know what kind of place that's going to be until we step inside, though. Heh, or what utterly bizarre fiends will be waiting for us there. I'm tingling with excitement. We'll have to be sure we're ready before moving on. Oh, we're ready. At least as ready as I will be. So that item was what I need to get into that other door. Entrance exam results. A letter to Chloe Rins informing her that she has passed the Genus Royal Academy entrance examination. So yes, that door I have left is... I need Chloe, and I need that exam result. But you guys have warned me that that door is very, very long, so we're not going to do it today. I probably won't record it till I have a day off and can spend, hours sitting here recording. Just in case, if you guys warn me it's going to be long, I don't want to do it when I'm limited on time. Oh, I recognize this place. Where are we now? Nowhere I've ever been before, judging from where I'm standing. Look over there. Oh yeah, this was the place Stell trained. At the beginning of number 2. Huh, now that's what I call a fine view. Wow. Well, this is a lot prettier than the last plane, at least. This must be another real place that's been recreated here in Phantasma, much like the capital was. Most likely, yeah. Just where is it, though? Somewhere in Liberal? I doubt it. It's not familiar to me at all. My best guess would be somewhere along the Crone Mountains, but the air suggests otherwise. Huh? What's the Bracer Guild's emblem doing here? It looks like this really isn't a place that exists in Liberl. As far as I'm aware, there aren't any guild facilities like this anywhere in the country. That seems to settle the matter, then. This must be a recreation of a place in another country. Would you look at that? The answer was right under our noses the whole time. It was? Yeah, there's literally a sign that tells you where you are. This is Lilacal Training Center? I know that name. Wasn't it the training camp Estelle went to a while back? You know, last year with Annalise? That's the one. It's a guild-owned facility located in Lemon State. I've never been there myself, though. I've only heard about it from Estelle. That leaves us with yet another problem to solve. To my knowledge, Lemon State is quite the distance away from Liberl. Yeah, it is. It's farther away than both Erebonia and Calvard. But you know, I may not have a clue how a place in Lehman ended up being created here, or why. But if our enemies did it, they must have had a reason for doing so, right? I knew you'd catch on. What was that squeak? That sounded like, we got company, guys. Oh, they're adorable! I suppose beastmen would be the best term for these things. This is probably what your next destination is the Path of Beasts was referring to. Another mystery solved. Watch out, there's a lot of them, and this could get ugly. Oh, they are twitching like crazy. I'm not even speeding it up at all. They're just freaking out. Okay, week 2. Mirage. Poison-coated sword. Weak to Mirage. Attacks with its poisonous claws and charge attacks. Okay. So they're all poison. Probably not worth it to use Ascension, but we'll try, I guess. Still so far one of my favorite attacks in the game. If you couldn't tell. Well, I killed him. Okay. Oh geez, 3 level ups there. Okay. That roar thing is the same as some of the other enemies in number 2, but the squeak of the Ratmen is new. Fleeing to fight another day, huh? They're smart little devils. Devils do seem a lot more intelligent than your average monster. Enough to make me wonder whether these are another kind of impossible fiend like the rest. I'm with you. I can't pretend to be an expert on the monsters of Lehman, but I'm pretty sure they're not this smart. It looks like this plane is going to pose a real challenge. I just need more AoE. Here she comes! You have done well to come this far. On this plane, there are 3 ordeals to overcome, of course. If you overcome them all, the next path will open. Take this. What are you giving us now? Oh, we get a map. Okay. Be forewarned. The Lord of Phantasma's goal is your... Well, she sure didn't stick around long. She's probably got so little power left now, it's difficult for her to show herself to us. So it seems. It must be a frustrating thing for her to deal with. Still, she left us with a useful gift. Yeah. Okay. Looks like the lodge in the top right is where we are now. Then there's this Ballstar Channel place to the left of it. Maybe that's the ordeal she mentioned? Or one of them, at least. She mentioned there being 3 of them, but there's only one place that could fit that description marked on the map. I wonder where the other 2 could be. From what I can see, these 2 roads lead to them, the ones that seem to just stop all of a sudden. But this plane most likely has its own rules we need to follow. If we followed those roads now, there's a big chance we find nothing at the end of them. Unfortunately. Well, those are the cards we've been dealt. Let's just try heading over to the Ballstar Channel and see what comes of it. But first, we're going to explore. If we can. Oh, they have better equipment. Ooh, that's a lot better. Strength-wise. But... So there's better equipment there. I don't know if I want to deal with it right now, though. Freezing meatballs. Okay. Empty? No, my friend. I'm filled with artisan-style voidness. That's a new one. Mind 4. Mr. Tittles looks up with an annoyed expression. You disturbed his nap. My bad, Mr. Tittles. Carnelia bracelet. Will write flavor text for food. Wow. What's this one? Prevents strength, defense, and ADF down. Okay. That's nice. Luck. Okay. So there's no doors in this building. There's just the pillar. Is there a door up here? No. That's surprising. I figured they would have one here. Okay, I think we'll end this episode here, and then in the next one we will actually head to Ballstar Channel and see what awaits us there. I figured it would actually let me walk between locations, but I guess not. So we'll stop right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will catch you next time.